Good morning, welcome to day 13 of Vlogmas. It's a dark, dull, wet day here. It got light very late this morning. It was 9 o'clock and it was still quite dark. But it's a perfect day for knitting, in my opinion. It's a day to cozy up. And as you will have seen, I was knitting this morning. I was working on my heel of my sock and then I was unworking it because I noticed that I had dropped a stitch in the main body of the sock just before the heel was inserted. And because I was knitting in semi-darkness this morning, I hadn't noticed it. Thankfully, I caught it in time and I rescued it. And I finished the heel. So now I have a pair of socks. I know you don't need to block socks really because they're going on your feet, but I like to block my socks at the start. It just makes them look nice and crisp and clean after working on them. So they're still wet and I'm going to have to dry them. But this is the heel toe do-si do Christmas socks in the Merry and Bright colourway by London House Yarns, and I love it. I think the colours are just so crisp and so Christmassy and I'm over the moon with these. So I'm going to wait now until they dry and I'll be able to get those on. But it left me with the dilemma that I mentioned last night. Because I knew I was finishing those, I knew I wanted to start something else that I've no real business to start, but I'm going to anyway because I like working on my cardigan during the day, but I like to have something smaller to work on in the morning. And I searched through, I thought I'll do a cowl for a change, and I looked through my library and found that I actually had a pattern for a cowl, again by the Crazy Sock Lady, and I actually think it's the cowl version of the socks, the heel toe do-si do socks. It's called the Round and Round cowl and it seems to be pretty much the same pattern. So that means it'll be nice and easy to work on. I'm not going to have to think about a new pattern too much once I get started. So that's what I'm going to work on, and the reason I wanted to do something like that was because I think at the start of Vlogmas it arrived. I got a parcel from Dragon Hoard Yarns and she had dyed up yarns based on Narnia and the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, which had to be purchased. So I bought the mini skein set, and this was meant to be my Christmas Eve cast on. I'll have to think of something else for that because maybe I'll have this finished, maybe not. So this is the set of mini skeins that I'm going to work my cowl from. It's Tea with Mr. Tumnus, Lantern Waist, Always Winter, Spare and Cherry Cordial. And it's a stellina base. So there's gold stellina in there. Don't know if you can see it. There will be sparkle in this cowl. So what I'm going to have to do now is sort out how I'm going to arrange my colours. In the pattern, Kay uses 7 minis and I have 5, and I'm going to have to do some maths just to make it spread out a little bit. It's fingering weight and I want to use every last piece of this yarn in the cowl. So I'm going to do a little bit of fiddling with maths, and then, not that it really matters in a cowl, but I want it quite deep. I had considered putting mohair in it because I'm obviously in a mohair kick, but I think this time I won't because I really want the sparkles to shine and not be muted down. So I've decided I'm not going to use the mohair. Sorry, Selma. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to wind up the yarn and divide it. So I'm going to spend a little while on that before lunch. And I also want to, maybe, I have had this fabric. I actually had it washed and ironed, and I think I'm going to have to do it again because it sat in the back of my chair. I've had this fabric in my stash for over a year, I think. And I fancy making myself a bag. Not that I need another bag, considering I've bought bags recently. But I just want to use this, and I thought a drawstring bag for January would be nice. Kind of reminds me of January colours. So I'm going to wash this again and press it with the idea that maybe today I'll cut out the fabric for this If not today, I'm going to cut it out tomorrow because I'd like to get started on that and make myself a little bag. So for the next hour, get that in the wash and get these divided up, and then we'll see where we go from that. So I'm ready to get started. I have my pattern, I have my needles, I have my Narnia bag that I made a few years ago with the Narnia pins that have been gifted to me. And inside I have all my little balls wound up and ready to go. It took longer than I thought. Certainly the ball winder wouldn't have worked anyway because the balls were too small, but they're ready now anyway, and I'm really looking forward to getting started. I'll hopefully get it cast on tonight, just the initial setup, and it'll be ready to work on in the morning. Today has been a lovely day, and I just thought I would take this opportunity to drop in with you one more time. I sat this afternoon and got quite a bit of knitting done. I cast on for the cowl as I had hoped I would, and that means I'm ready to go with it in the morning. And I introduced day 13's colour to my caramel cardigan. It was a colour that I had received as a little gift when I was at Rhinebeck. I'm not even sure which of the 2 years it was, but it was a little gift that was given to me. So I introduced that colour and worked a little on that. I had a little bit of extra time to work on my knitting tonight because I didn't have to make the dinner, which was really, really lovely. Amy and her daddy took over that role tonight, so I was more than happy with that. Now though, it's time to sit and edit this video so that I can get it up for you as soon as I can. The rest of the evening, I have a little bit of just a few chores to do to get ready for tomorrow. James's uniform has to be sorted for school, and I need to get things ready so that I can go out to work early again. I'm on the early shift. I start at 7. So I need to have everything in place tonight. But I'm still hoping that I get a few minutes to add another few rows to my cardigan. That's the plan anyway. So I hope today has been a good day for you, and that you were able to do some nice things and maybe get some festive things done. I don't think any of today was very festive for me. It wasn't over the door at all, as they would say. But it was a lovely day nonetheless, and I hope your day has been good too, and I'll see you tomorrow.